بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum. This is Tuesday, 18th of October 2022. And in our series Reflections on the Holy Quran, this is broadcast number 365. These days we are looking at verse 105 of the second chapter of the Holy Quran, Al-Baqarah. And this is the fourth broadcast in that series. I think perhaps in the Urdu one I said fifth. This is the fourth broadcast in that series. These broadcasts are brought to you by LASER, Lahore Ahmadiyya School of Education in Religion, which is a branch of the Lahore Ahmadiyya movement, also known as the Ahmadiyya Association for the Propagation of Islam. The Ahmadiyya movement was established by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib Rahmatullah Alayh, and with a view to reforming the Muslim thinking and bringing it into line with the needs of the modern age. His teaching was that although other people say that after the Holy Prophet Muhammad, another prophet will come, but this cannot be correct, because the Holy Quran says that the Holy Prophet was Khatamun Nabiyyin, seal of the prophets. And the Holy Prophet Muhammad explained its meaning by saying, La Nabiyya Ba'di, there is no prophet after me. So now no prophet will come, neither an old one nor a new one. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad also taught that other people, other Muslims say that part of the prophetic revelation received by the Holy Prophet Muhammad is missing from the Holy Quran, such as the verse relating to Rajam, Ayah Rajam, or a whole chapter, Surah Vilayat. They say are missing from the Holy Quran. And they also say that some of the prophetic revelation which is in the Holy Quran has been abrogated, cancelled. But he said this cannot be correct, because Allah promised that He has revealed this book and He will protect it. So nothing's missing from it, and nothing in it has been abrogated or cancelled. And Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, he stressed that jihad is a duty of every Muslim. But the Holy Prophet Muhammad's definition of jihad was that when he was returning from fighting, he said that we are returning from the minor jihad to the major jihad. And said major jihad is jihad bin nafs, a struggle within yourself with your own soul to stop it from enticing you, tempting you to do the wrong thing. These are the reforms. These are some of the reforms that Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad brought. And one further thing he said was that the Hadith speaks of the coming of the Messiah and Mahdi, but these are not two people But these are two titles which are to be applied to one Muslim Mujaddid. And he was that Mujaddid for whom these titles were used. And it was because of this that people started calling him a kafir and a heretic, and the Ahmadi Jamaat as well. But Hazrat Sahib said that the Holy Prophet Muhammad has given strict instructions that if a man claims to be a Muslim, recite the kalima, that if someone says to him, this person is a heretic, then it's the person saying it upon whom this edict of heresy falls. So we must remember these things. As I said, today we are going to continue with verse 105 that we've been looking at. Fortunately, in the English translation, the verse numbering is quite large and easy to read. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ما يود الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب ولا المشركين أن ينزل عليكم من خير من ربكم والله يختص برحمته من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم. Neither those who disbelieve from among the people of the book nor the polytheists like that any good should be sent down to you from your Lord. And Allah chooses whom He pleases for His mercy. And Allah is the Lord of mighty grace. Today we are going to look at two expressions, and they are wala, and the next one is al-mushrikeen. The first one is easy if I can, it would be easy if I could find my notes on the computer here. I think this might be, yes, that's right. So we have this expression, wala. Wa, we know, is a word. In Arabic, it means and. So in grammar, they call it conjunction, or as I call it, the connecting word. And la means no or not. So there's not a lot more we can say about that. And the next one, where are my notes? Here we are. The next one is, again, al-mushrikeen, and al is the mushrikeen. That has the root sheen, ra, kaf. And 8 words appear in the Holy Quran made from this root, and in total they occur in the Holy Quran 168 times. So let's have a look at it. 71 times we have ashraka, which is a verb. 44 times we have mushrik. And 40 times we have sharik. And then the rest are fewer times, twice, and and so on and so forth. And it means to be a partner, to associate a partner, partnership, partner, and so on. Various derivations of this root mean these things. So, for example, it says, Ya buniyya la tushrik billahi inna sharka la zulmun azim. So, associating partners with Allah is the greatest sin, and so on. So, if we look at it, it means to share something. And this can be in the sense that, and it is used in the sense of partnership, like a business partnership. Someone wants to open a shop, and one guy says, well, I'll give £1,000. Another guy says, I'll give £2,000. So they are, what they own, they're sharing that ownership. The person who put in £1,000 into this shop, he's sharing the ownership of that £1,000 with the other guy. But it doesn't have to be two people. It could be 5, it could be 100, or whatever. So, and it can also apply to sharing some kind of an attribute. We share an attribute with the animal kingdom, in that, we breathe and they breathe. We have a heart and they have a heart, and so on. So this is like having something in common. And in a hadith, the Holy Prophet said, Allahumma ashrikna fi du'a salihin. Oh Allah, include us in the prayers of the righteous. So, people say that there is a hadith, Inni sharaftuka wa faddaltuka ala jami'i khalqi wa raktuka fi amri. That I've given you predominance over all people and joined you, included you in my work. So some people say that what it means is that this is an explanation of chapter 5, verse 92, وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ. Obey Allah and obey His Prophet. So they say that in this hadith, the Holy Prophet is including his companions in that. Again, chapter 37, verse 23. وَفِي الْعَذَابِ مُشْتَرِكُونَ. And will share the torment on that day. And in chapter 17, verse 111, we have وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ شَرِيكٌ فِي الْمُلْكِ. And no one can share his authority, his power, his kingship, his majesty. And that is regarded the greatest sin in Islam, to say that someone else shares God's majesty. And in chapter 4, verse 116, we find, Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bihi. And one transgression, one sin that Allah will not forgive is that you associate someone else with him. This might be by belief, by saying, but it might be by other things, how you behave, what you do, and so on. So, lost my page. Right, okay. And God rejects their argument that they committed shirk because God has power over everything, and if He'd wanted, we wouldn't have done it. سَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا لَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا أَشْرَكْنَا. Chapter 6, verse 149. And those who commit shirk, they say, well, if God had wanted to stop us, then we wouldn't have committed shirk. So they'll blame Him for doing that. And of course, the word mushrikun comes from that. وَمَا يُؤْمِنُ أَكْثَرُهُمْ بِاللَّهِ إِلَّا وَهُمْ مُشْرِكُونَ. Chapter 12, verse 106. And many of them don't have faith in God, but they commit shirk. And some people say here by shirk it is mean that they're so involved in the affairs of this world that they forget God, and they give affairs of this world more prominence than God, and this is how they're committing shirk. But one verse that I wanted to comment on, chapter 9, verse 5, Uqtulul mushrikeen, and kill the non-believers is the general translation, and most jurists have taken this to mean that Muslims should kill all the disbelievers. And they include in this people of the book, Jews, for example, because, Jews, the verse of the Holy Quran, chapter 9, verse 30, وَقَالِتِ الْيَهُودَ عُزَيْرٌ ابْنُ اللَّهِ. And they say Uzair is the son of God. And so they say Jews are included in that. So it's a duty of a Muslim to kill all non-Muslims. And some say, well, it means it doesn't include people of the book. But what people forget is that they're taking two words and building a whole structure on that. Remember, there are certain places which are declared holy in Islam, such as Makkah, for example, Haram Sharif, where fighting is not allowed. In the same way, there are certain times in Islam when fighting is not allowed. So at the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, unless Muslims were attacked and they were forced to fight to defend themselves, they did not fight others. They went that extra mile, as they say, to avoid fighting. But once that period was over, God said, well, after that, you're permitted to fight. And that is that if you hear something and you need to take initiative, you're allowed to do that. And really, this injunction only applied to the people of Saudi Arabia, what is now Saudi Arabia, at that time. If that wasn't the case, then why was it that the companions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad entered into treaties with idol worshippers and people of other religions? They didn't kill them when they conquered. Is there any example of Muslims conquering Spain or India to kill people? In fact, to the contrary, Muslims actually went to Spain to protect Christians, one sect of Christians from another sect. Now, people say that under this verse, Jews should also be killed. But Muslims went to Spain, or for as long as Muslims were in Spain, they protected the Jews. It was when Christians took over Spain that they slaughtered both Muslims and the Jews. Didn't they understand this verse of the Holy Quran? You see, the dangerous thing is of such misinterpretations is that they lead to the kind of situation we have at the moment, where we have suicide bombers and whatever else going around bombing people. If this is true, why isn't every Muslim in United States or Europe going out and killing people? Because this is not what it means. Why are non-Ahmadi Muslims not eulogizing and praising those who kill innocent non-Muslims at some event, on some pavement, in a concert? Why do we all denounce them and say this is un-Islamic? Because this was twisting the meaning of this verse. And who was the first person to point it out? It was Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib. This is just one of the reforms that he made. Now, you see, the thing is this, that shirk is to associate with anything other than God those powers and attributes and abilities which are only God's. And we do this. We still do this. Someone's put a curse on this one or that one. This is why something is happening. So you're saying that that person has the same powers as God. Or to consider that in addition to God, there is some other human being or entity to whom we have to bow and scrape. And we do this. The Prime Minister was going to do this stupid thing. Why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you say it was wrong? Oh, well, the Prime Minister was going to give me a high-powered job or whatever. I couldn't afford to upset him. So it's not God who's giving you these things. It's the Prime Minister. And we see this over and over again. And to accept anything else as authority other than the Holy Quran is shirk. I mean, the Quran itself says, you have the Quran, you have the Sunnah, you have the Hadith, you have ijtihad or reasoning, and you have ijma, which is consensus of the community. It gives you all those things to deal with situations when a specific command may not be present in the Holy Quran. And the most important thing is that religion came to unite humanity. Religion came to unite humanity. And it is shirk. And it is shirk to divide the ummah. Of course, you may have a particular need for which you create an organization. You create a bar council. But that's not shirk. You're not dividing the ummah. You create a medical council. That's not shirk. You're not dividing the ummah. Even if you have two political parties, that is not shirk. Why? Because one party thinks if we follow a particular economic policy, that will be better. The other party thinks, no, if we do something else, it will be better. But if you divide up the community, as in Deobandi and Barelvi and Shia and Sunni and Hanafi and this and that, that is shirk. That is shirk. Because that organization is not for a particular purpose like the Bar Council. Or for that matter, Ahmadi Anjuman Ishayat Islam. What does that mean? Ahmadi Association for Propagation of Islam. The reform, Islam with the reforms included in it brought by the promised Messiah, alayhi salam, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib. So that a particular purpose for which you need a group of people to come together, bring others into that group to strengthen it and so. But the moment you say that on religious grounds, because of this religious interpretation, we are the righteous ones, we are the right ones, all the others are kafirs and heretics and so on, you start splitting religion, which is shirk. Because you're not leaving it to God to decide whether people are right or wrong. You're saying, I will decide. It's up to me. I've gone over my time today, so I'll take my leave of you with the prayer that whoever you are and wherever you may be, may Allah keep the whole of humanity safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, and goodbye.